Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we've got another reference photo, and this one, to be honest, is gonna be tricky. Okay, it's gonna be really tricky, but I'm excited to share with you how I place the proportions of the head, especially in this type of angle, because this might seem easy to draw, but trust me, there is some difficulties there. But anyway, hopefully it's gonna turn out well. But before we get started, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and you share it to your friends. Maybe they might be interested. But watch the whole video first and see with yourself if you find this video helpful. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I always want to draw when I draw portraits is a circle. Why the circle? Because it doesn't change regardless of perspective. Drawing a circle is the first, okay? It's easier and it doesn't change regardless. So we're gonna start with a circle. And where you place the circle is also important. So in this case, I'm gonna put it a little bit higher. Look at your reference photo and see where the head is placed. Okay, so this is what we call composition. I see many beginners, they tend to draw tiny heads and they leave a lot of space that will not be used to draw anything. So if you are going to draw only one portrait on a page, make sure you cover the whole page, okay? But don't draw too big or too small. Just average, okay? Average, I don't know how you would call it average, but look at the reference photo and see how big the head should be on your paper. Don't be afraid to go big. Okay, so we have the circle. Now we're going to chop off the side of the circle. There is no specific pattern you can follow to draw the side plane. It depends on your interpretation. And for me, most of the time, I look at the side of the eyebrows where the eyebrows actually turn or come down. I don't know. The side plane of the head is very clear when you look at the temporal line. Okay, we call it the temporal line, and you see that it aligns with the side of the eye socket, this bone that is right at the edge of the brow ridge. So this is where you should look at when you want to determine the side of the circle, okay, of this cranium. So this is a three-quarter pose, a perfect three-quarter pose, and usually in a three-quarter pose, that side, okay, if it's a perfect three-quarter pose, this circle, okay, the front edge of this circle is going to be right at the middle of this the head of this cranium. Okay, like if you take this distance here, it's going to be at the center, okay, roughly at the center. And this is how I like to do that, but it depends on the tilt of the head. Anyway, so now the second thing that I like to do is find the brow ridge. Then from the brow ridge I divide the face into thirds, but for me the most important one is the brow ridge. Once I get it, I will determine the rest of the thirds depending on that. So her head is tilted. I don't even know if it's tilted or not, because it's a selfie, which I don't recommend when you want to study a portrait. Don't draw selfies. They distort the proportions and they are terrible references. So don't use selfies unless you are confident. So in this case, I don't even know. It's not the head that is tilted, but the camera angle. The camera angle is close and above eye level. So I'm gonna bring the brow ridge maybe let's say maybe right at the center of the cranium, okay? Maybe. Let's see. And then we're going to extend this line here, and this is going to be for the placement of the ear. I think this is going to be the placement of the ear. So the top of the ear is going to touch this line here. Now let's go ahead and draw the center line of the face. So I'm using my pencil to determine the tilt of the head, and I feel like the center line of the face is going to be like this. So we have this axis, X and Y axis, or Y and X, I don't know. So these two lines are very helpful to keep things in perspective. If you draw a box, for example, you're going to see that these lines converge to a vanishing point. And so this horizontal line is gonna converge to a certain vanishing point that we don't see. And this one here is just a vertical line, but tilted. Now, I'm going to draw the hairline, which I feel like is going to be here. The bottom of the nose maybe here. From the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the chin, a little bit smaller because of foreshortening. The bottom third, I've noticed that is much smaller than the middle third. And if you use your pencil, as I did. Let me double check again. So when I use my pencil, I compare this distance here from the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the chin. I feel like it aligns with the line for the eyes, this line here. Okay, so instead of being equal, these 2/3, okay, are going to be different, and this one is going to be the longest. And it's not 100% correct, so it will depend on your observation and how you can interpret things, and it takes a lot of practice to get this right at the beginning. So from here, yes, I think this is correct. I'm not sure, but that's just what I think. Okay, so now we have the thirds. We know where to place the eyes, some of the features, especially the nose. Now let's just go ahead and draw the contour shapes. To do that, I usually draw from the side of the head of this brow ridge here. I draw a curve, or sometimes a line, a straight line, and I connect that to the chin. You use your pencil to determine the angle of that line, if it's really tilted or not. The bottom of the chin, which is here, it's going to be a little bit wider on this side, and then we're going to connect that to the jaw area. And this is where many beginners have problems, because this jaw, they don't know how long it should be first and how tilted it's gonna be. And this is not the right reference photo to study the jaw area, because it makes things worse. But I'm gonna show you how to find a similarity between the reference photo and this drawing, instead of just assuming, okay, this is how the jaw is going to be, like this. No, draw a straight line, a parallel line to this one, crossing half of this side of the circle, like this. Okay, so once you draw these two parallel lines, here, around here, you're going to connect. Okay, you're going to draw a curve, or if you want, two lines, but most of the time, if it's a female, it's going to be only a curve. Then you connect that to the chin, like this. You can add the side plane of the cheekbone, like this. Okay, just to add some structure to the drawing. And now we're just going to add the neck, and then it's time to start adding the features. So the neck starts a little bit higher, like here. Okay, a little bit higher from the back. Curve your line from side to side to find the other side. I don't know, so this is going to be the line for the shoulder. So this is enough. Let's start now adding the features. Let's start with the nose, because I feel like the nose is one of the key landmarks to start with, because it will help me, if I get that correctly, it will help me draw the eyes and etc. Sometimes I like to start with the eyes. Okay, so let's start with the forehead first before I start adding the shape of the nose. So I'm going to draw this keystone shape here. And from here, observe the gap between the cheekbone area and the nose, and use your pencil to determine the angle of the nose. The mouth, instead of sitting here on this line, it's going to be forward like this, because it's not a flat area. All right, so maybe the corner of the mouth is here, and you can see some overlap right there. So let me just draw a straight line, a horizontal line like this, and it follows the same perspective. And the bottom lip here, so for the nose, I'm gonna make it a little bit wider. Drawing the mouth in this angle is gonna be tough. So before we focus on that, let's come here. We add the details on the eyes. So the eyelids, the eyebrows first. Let's see the eyebrows. Okay, so the eyelid, from this angle there is no specific shape of the eyelid, just use your interpretation and see how you can interpret the shape of the eyelid. Okay, the eye, this one eye here, mm, the bottom eyelid. You can see the top plane of that bottom eyelid. So let's leave it like this. I'll come back later on and I'll add the details. So the hair should be down like here maybe. Okay, so let's come here. I observe the width of this shape here, the keystone shape. And look how tilted this eyebrow is. And because it's a 3/4 pose, this eyebrow is going to be taller than the other one. Maybe the eye here and here, I'm not sure yet. So before we draw that, maybe I should add the hair. The ear, as I said before, is going to sit somewhere here. The shape of the shirt. So drawing these elements randomly can help you have, you know, a general view or an overall view of the portrait instead of focusing on single details. So it's good to step back and visualize the drawing from a broad angle. But if you focus on individual details, later on if you zoom out, you will notice that, wow, that is something really off with this drawing, and you will not be able to understand where the problem comes from. But zooming in and out while you're drawing is really helpful, and I hope it's gonna help in this case. And I'm observing this angle, this width, this distance here. Also, I'm checking the distance between the bottom of the ear and the corner of the eye. Also, from the bottom of the ear to the nose. This interrelationship between the features is something that you need when it comes to finding the proportions. But sometimes it's overwhelming to spend too much time focusing on measurements. Sometimes you just need to go more intuitively and trust your intuition. But most of the time also the intuition doesn't come like that. It comes with experience. So intuition is not something that comes naturally. And one thing also I like to use is the plumb line. And what I mean by plumb line is drawing vertical lines to compare different areas. Like for example here, if I want to determine the position of this shoulder, I can use a plumb line from the hair. I draw a straight line and I see where that line falls. So now I have the general view. Okay. Okay. I think now I can just go ahead and start adding the details. Let's draw the eyes first. I feel like this eye is gonna give me a headache. Okay, so the eye socket. The nose. Let's see the top eyelid and this plane. So the top eyelid, the tear dot here. Now the bottom eyelid is going to be a little bit bigger like this. The side plane, let's see. Okay, the iris, I'm not sure. Okay, so this is gonna be the iris. Let's see compared to this one if we got that right. The eyelashes. Let's add the plane of the nose. Here, the side plane. Now I'll add only the nostril. The bottom of the nose is here, and then we have the philtrum, and this is where things are going to be very, very difficult. Okay, so the lip, top lip, and there's some overlap. So here, as you can see, I need to adjust the position of the shoulder. I have to bring it somewhere here. This bone as well. So I will use this to adjust this one because I feel like this is too tall. Here. So if I draw a straight line from the chin here, it aligns with this area. The shoulder starts here. So let's come back here and we'll add some details and the drawing is over. Let's see here. So this is the eyebrows. So the eyelashes. So the eyelashes become wider on the side and thinner on the inside. Okay, so I should focus on this one as well. I don't want to make this one too big. So from this angle, make sure you add the top plane of that bottom eyelid, like this shape for the bottom eyelid. Okay, and show that it's wrapping around the eyeball. So there is this V shape for the mouth. Okay, so I'm using the side of the pencil to draw, you know, those soft lines. Yeah, I think that is it. But I feel like if I add more details, the drawing might be much worse. So I'm not gonna add details. I think this is enough. Okay, guys, let me know what you think. Okay, thanks so much guys for watching. I really appreciate. Let me know about your thoughts on this video. Give this video some thumbs up and also share it to your friends if you found it helpful. Yeah, thanks so much guys for watching. I really appreciate. I'll be on Patreon for a monthly demo, so make sure you check me out there on Patreon. It would be really nice. Thanks so much guys. See you in the next video. Bye.